Hey everyone, how's it going today? My name's Nick, and today we're going to answer the big question that everyone's been asking. Am I wearing pants? No, but in all seriousness, I have had people ask me, Nick, why did you go plant-based? Well, it actually all started back in July of this year. I was down in San Antonio, Texas for a TDY, and my cousin actually happened to live in Round Rock, Texas. I went to go visit him over the weekend, and he was bragging about how he changed over to this plant-based lifestyle, and he kept saying, oh man, this is a lifestyle, this is not a diet, this is a lifestyle. And I said, what are you talking about? And he said that he had lost 30 pounds in 30 days just by switching over. And we ended up watching this Netflix documentary called The Game Changers. I don't know if you guys have seen it on Netflix, but there's that one that I would really recommend, The Game Changers, and What the Health is another good one that's out on Netflix right now. So go check those out. We ended up watching the special, and after I saw the special, I got dumbfounded and I could not eat meat ever again after I saw that. And it was just like a flip of a switch. Just like the smoker goes cold turkey, I was the same way. And keep in mind, I'm down TDY, I'm in this little tiny hotel suite with one burner and a refrigerator, and I've been eating junk food and got chicken and all these different things in my fridge, and I'm thinking, what the heck am I gonna do with all this stuff? And I just ended up throwing it all in the trash, and I just flipped the switch and went cold turkey with it. And I've really been proud of my decision, and I haven't gone back since. Really, if you're gonna make a decision like this, you gotta make that decision and stick with it. This goes back to the video yesterday that I made talking about how if you're gonna do something, make it a habit for 21 days. And once you do it consecutively for those 21 days, it becomes a habit. And it just becomes second nature. You won't have to think about it anymore. So if you're gonna do something, make sure you dedicate to doing it and stick with it. Once I actually got to where I live now, I converted everyone who I shouldn't say I converted. I tried to convert as many people as I could. I was telling everyone, hey, you gotta go watch this. You gotta go check out this Netflix special, man. My grandma came down here to visit us. She couldn't go back to eating chicken nuggets after, that's like her go-to meal is chicken nuggets. After she saw that, she said, Nick, I can't even finish the bag of chicken nuggets that I have at home. I'm pretty proud of myself for that. My family, my wife, my daughter, I was able to convert them, and we don't have meat in the house anymore. It took a little bit longer for them to fully convert, but they're making it. They'll get there. They'll get there. And the crazy part of this whole thing is that my aunt is actually vegan, and she's been vegan for years now. I'm talking more than at least 15, maybe even 20 years that she's been vegan. She's been trying to tell me about this vegan lifestyle for the longest. I always just kind of pushed it to the side, and I thought it was more of a religious thing. They're Seventh-day Adventist, and I thought you had to be a vegan to be Seventh-day Adventist. That's just my ignorance, but I've been educated now, so I apologize to everybody out there. If you think about it, it's kind of an added benefit. As a Seventh-day Adventist, if you give up meat and you do become a vegan, think about the health benefits that you just gain automatically for that reason alone. So I think that's pretty neat. Some of the benefits that I've noticed since making the switch, the very first day I had increased energy like crazy. I had a hard time going to sleep actually because I had so much energy. I was just up in the middle of the night. I found it really hard to go to sleep, and this is coming from a guy who would go to bed on a regular basis at 8:30, 9 o'clock because I have to wake up really early in the morning and get myself motivated to go for the next day. But I found myself in bed at 11, 12, 1 o'clock in the morning just wired with all this energy. So that's probably the biggest benefit that I was able to take away from making that initial switch. On top of that, another reason, and this is probably the main reason that I made the switch, was actually for the added protein. I'm trying to bulk up. I see you looking at my arms. But believe it or not, it used to be a lot worse, and I actually had a hard time getting into the military when I first came in. I weighed approximately 143 coming into the military, and I'm 6'2". So I had to squeak by at 145. My recruiter put me on this cheeseburger diet and said, oh, you gotta eat all this fast food before you go to MEPS and all this crazy nonsense. But I ended up doing it because I didn't know any better at the time. I ended up just drinking a whole bunch of water before it was time for me to go weigh in, and I was able to get by without having to get the exemption or the waiver, so it worked out. But now I'm learning that you can get so much more protein just from a fully plant-based diet than you would a regular diet, or if not just as much that you would eating, you know, chicken and all these other type of proteins that are out there. Some questions that people may have are, is it harder to cook when you transition over to plant-based? Plant-based, vegan, they're kind of interchangeable. Veganism, I think, is a little bit more hardcore than plant-based. Plant-based, you got a little bit more flexibility there. I know a lot of plant-based people who will still eat chicken sometimes and say, you know, oh, as long as I know where the chicken's coming from, I know that it's a healthy source and I can control what I eat. Plant-based doesn't necessarily mean plants only. But as far as is it easier to cook being plant-based, I think the answer is yes. You're gonna find yourself cooking a lot more beans, and it's really easy to soak the beans. Instant Pot. Instant Pot is gonna be your best friend. If you do not have an Instant Pot, I would highly recommend getting an Instant Pot because it just makes life so much easier. And if you subscribe to our channel, that little button's that right there, down below. If you hit that subscribe button, we're gonna be doing some recipe videos here in the future, so make sure you stick around for that. Some other things that I noticed since I've gone plant-based is when you go out to eat at fast food restaurants, your pickings are really slim to none. But that's okay, because what I've noticed is that when I go to these fast food restaurants and I have dabbled a little bit, maybe once or twice. Don't judge, I see you judging. I actually have regret every single time. I'll either get sick or it just doesn't taste the same. I'll get a really bloated feeling and just am full of regrets each and every time I do it. It's only been a couple of times, don't judge. So I actually stay away from fast food altogether now. And lastly, one of the big takeaways is that I don't find myself eating a whole lot, but I am finding myself getting really full. There are a lot of alternatives out there to the meals that you may be familiar with, and actually the only options that I have available to the location where I am now is Walmart. There's also an Aldi's. The nearest Whole Foods is at least an hour away. Same thing with Trader Joe's or any of the other plant-based or vegan-friendly style grocery chains. But you'll be surprised, even at Walmart, they have a lot of options there. They have a whole freezer section just dedicated to plant-based and vegan style meals. If you like burgers, you can still make burgers. They have plant-based burgers. If you like hot dogs, they have plant-based hot dogs. I'm not a big fan of them, but they got them. French fries, sweet potato fries, those are my best friends. Broccoli, if you like broccoli, I mean, you can never have too much broccoli, right? Beans, the more you eat, the more you fart, the better you feel. So eat them beans with every meal. No, but seriously, you're gonna eat a lot of beans. Rice is also another thing that you can incorporate into a plant-based diet. That, pasta sauce is plant-based. Make sure you read the ingredients. Make sure you read ingredients on everything that you buy, because sometimes they'll try and sneak stuff in there. I almost got caught up a couple of times where it says may contain milk products. So make sure you read. But other than that, I live my life day to day just like any other normal person would. There's nothing different about me eating something that a normal person would. There's always an alternative out there, whatever it is that you may like. I really used to love fettuccine, and my wife, she found a recipe where you can make fettuccine with cashews. Yeah, cashews. It tastes really good. Same thing with macaroni and cheese. She just did one today for macaroni and cheese, and it was delicious. So I'm gonna put a shameless plug into this video for my wife's t-shirt business. Make sure you click on the link below if you want to support the vegan movement. You can shop at livingthatveganlife.com for your favorite vegan merch. Yeah. If you have a favorite vegan recipe that you want us to review or maybe do here on the show, make sure you comment below and let me know what it is, and then we'll see about getting it on the show here. Also drop in the comments what your challenges were when you first decided to make that switch to go fully vegan or plant-based, and what kind of obstacles that you had to jump over. I'm really curious to see. With that being said, thank you for taking the time to take a look at this video, and we will see you tomorrow in the next one. See ya! Am I wearing pants? You'll never know. We're good. I'm wearing pants. We're good. We're good.